ladies, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the caption of the video, we are going to be doing a fall freestyle set. So this client is getting like medium long, and she said she didn't care what I did as long as it was fall themed. So I have so many ideas for fall nails, you guys, so I just picked one out of my brain and went with it. So before we get into the tutorial, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I say in every video that I am doing a 500 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to be doing a really big nail kit, whether it be for a beginner, whether it be for a nail tech in general. It will be able to be used. It'll be a really nice kit, you guys, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you turn on the post notifications, that way you can know when I post. So when it comes to the giveaway, you will be informed on how to enter and everything. All you do is click the bell. So if you're going to click subscribe, you might as well do that anyways. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into the tutorial. So as you can see, I pushed back the cuticles and I went around the cuticles with my cuticle drill bit. That just kind of exposes everything, gets all of the excess skin cells off of right there, any dead nail, and just completely wipes it away, gets it all pushed out. And then I'm going back in with my sanding band, and I am just stripping the nail of all the natural oils, pretty much just like dehydrating it. That's a better way to think of it. You do like to make sure that you do the step when you get rid of the natural oils, because if not, then when you go to apply your tips, they will have trouble sticking. And if they don't have trouble sticking, once you get to your acrylic stage, later on down the road, your nails will start to lift, only because those natural oils kind of put a barrier between the bond of the acrylic and the natural nails. So they might last while you're doing them, but they will not be lasting long after that. So just keep that in mind. It's really important for you to have a dry, bare nail when doing your acrylic. So now I'm just going in. This client actually did something new, you guys. I, believe it or not, don't think I've ever had a client do some coffin and some square. Like, she just put me onto something, y'all. I'm about to start recommending this to everyone because it was so cute. Like, I really liked it. So I'm just going in, and she did the pinky and the pointer square, and then the rest coffin. So I'm just going in and filing those. With the square tips, you just want to make sure that you are filing the sides and the free edge at a straight 90-degree angle. Making sure that you're keeping the file pretty straight, applying just slight pressure, and making sure that free edge is nice and crisp, just filing up and down. And then for the coffin, you just want to kind of follow the nail tip and clean up the shape. I do use coffin nail tips. I cannot remember the brand. I didn't even remember I had these. I just felt where, I have like this little bin where all my nail tips are at, and I pulled one out on accident. I'm like, oh shoot, this is a full box of coffin tips. Like, I didn't even know I had this. Let me use this. So I forget the brand, but yeah, as you can see, like, it's pretty much already coffined. I just like to go back in and clean it up and shape it just a little more to add my own little touch. I am really crazy over my shape. Like, it doesn't matter what tips I use, like, I still have to go back in and make it my own for the most part. I'm just real crazy about that. I know there's a more specific word for what I'm trying to say, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I don't play by my shape, period. But yeah, so I just think that was so interesting when she told me, like, she wanted to do square and coffin. I'm like, what? I never had anybody do that, but let's go. So now I'm going back in with that same sanding band, and I'm just filing where the natural nail and the nail tip meet. So that what that does is blends the nail tip in, and it helps with preventing lifting and helps with retention, helps those nails last long. I also like to file the entire nail tip. This is optional, but I like to do this because I feel like it helps with the adhesion of the acrylic. Like, I've noticed when I used to not do this, I would be able to apply the acrylic, but sometimes I would just have a little, like, it would be running completely off, or I would just be completely wiping away, which may have been from other things, but I just happened to notice when I start filing the whole entire tip, the acrylic would definitely stay in place way longer than when I wouldn't. Like, it just applied way easier. So I would give it a try and see how you like it. So now I'm going in with my Mia Secret dehydrator. This is just one last layer of stripping those natural oils, and then I'm going to go in with my Young Nails Protein Bond, and this helps with the adhesion of the acrylic, making sure that it just sticks and applies right. These are two important steps. Without these, you don't have a nail set. Well, you don't have a quality nail set anyways, I guess I should say. So yeah, these nails are going to be a lot, like, as far as acrylic application, because in the end they actually turned out really nice, but each nail is pretty much different, so that's what I mean by a lot. So this nail is going to be like a rose gold bronze-ish, I guess, glittered ombre nail. So what I did is I just put down a little layer of clear, but I didn't do the whole nail. I just did it as if I was doing ombre with it. And I like to do that because it gives the glitter something to kind of stick to when I'm applying it, which makes it way easier as far as keeping it in place and whatnot. So to pick up the glitter, I just dipped my brush in the monomer, picked up a small bead of the clear, and I took that clear bead and dipped it in the glitter, and it just picks it right up, so that's pretty easy. Now I'm treating this nail the same as I would an ombre nail, so I'm just going to leave it there, let it dry for just a little minute, and then I'll be back to ombre it. This is going to be a marble nail, so it's kind of out of camera, but I'm using the orange, that brownish color, and then I have a yellow mustardy color. I'm also adding in some white. So the way I do my marble is I just like to pick up, usually if I only have two beads, I would just mix the two beads, but in this case I'm using a lot of different colors, so you have to kind of play around with it to make sure that you have enough of, one color, not too much of another color. This color isn't mixing too much with, you just have to kind of play around with it. The good thing about marble is it does not have to be perfect. You literally just take beads of the acrylic, sometimes wetter, I would say mostly wetter beads, and then just mix them with your brush. Now, you don't want to apply too much pressure and like be smushing the acrylic together, because it's going to clog your brush, and then you're going to mix the colors too much and it won't really have a marbled effect. It'll just look like you mix some colors together. So you do want to be a little careful with that, which is why I recommend working with wetter beads. As you can see, I'm like going back in with some colors in certain places just because I feel like it needed to be a little more balanced with some colors. But this is, this is actually a pretty easy design. You just have to take your time with it and be paying attention to, as far as like, don't use too much of this color here. Make sure you add a little bit more of there. As you can see, I'm just kind of, starting with, I'm picking some colors up and starting the marble, and then I'm just going back in and kind of adding some colors where I feel are needed. And then, of course, you guys, I always say make sure that you are keeping your cuticle area clean. You do not want that acrylic to flood, because then you'll have lifting. You also want to make sure that you're cleaning the nail as well, like the acrylic. You want to like go back through and clean up the sides and the free edge, because it will help keep that shape. It's just better to work smarter, not harder. I say that in every video. I know you guys are probably getting sick of it, but it's helpful. It's a good tip, you guys, because if you work smarter now and you keep everything nice and clean, in the end you will be able to fly through filing, fly through e-filing, and get right onto your design if need be. Like, I used to take 30 minutes to do that, all together. Now it probably takes about 10, because everything's just so nice and neat. I barely have to do any work. So I like to always just recommend that. So now with this marble nail, I am going to be capping it in clear. That's kind of optional. I just like to do it only because I feel like, since I did have to go back in like over top and add some colors in certain places, I just don't want the e-file to take that off when I go and file it. So just to be safe, I just like to cap it with clear. There's no exact way that you have to cap it. I do it different every time. It just depends on where my hand goes with the bead. But I will say that You can either take one big bead and start it at the top and just drag it to the bottom, or you can just do, like 2 or 3 beads working your way from bottom to top. The only thing with the encapsulation is, in an instance like this, when you already have a decent amount of acrylic down, you don't want to put too much clear on, because then the nail is going to be really fat and big and thick. So, granted, if you're like encapsulating glitter or something that's really thin, then you can go back in with a normal amount of acrylic. But in this instance, I kind of already had a nice foundation with the marble. I just wanted to protect it, I guess. So I just did only what was needed. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm going back in with the ombre, to the ombre glitter now, and I'm using my Cover Rosebud by Young Nails. I'm just placing that bead right above where the glitter left off, and I'm just carefully patting it down, getting that nice blend. I really like this look, you guys. I do this a lot. Especially when it comes time to glitters, I love the whole like smoky, glittery look. I just love it a lot. I'm also going to be encapsulating this nail as well, so I'm making sure to keep that cuticle area clean. It's nice and ombre, and I have the look that I want. So as you can see, like with the other nail when I capped it, I just did one big bead from the top to the bottom, and I went in and added a little bit. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied, you guys. So on this nail, I just am kind of working my way up from bottom to top. I'm sorry. And I think I did that because I was working with glitter, so I wanted to make sure that the glitter was completely covered. So I knew that if I started from the bottom and I put my first bead there, I could focus on that, make sure it was covered, and then go back in and just put a little bead for the nude. So now that I'm sitting back and watching it, that would explain why I did it a little differently. And then I just put like a small bead over top the nude just to, cover that as well, and make sure that the entire nail was nice and even with everything. As you can see, I'm continuing to wipe my cuticles. I'm continuing to make sure that the free edge inside of the nails are nice and wiped and clean, and I'm keeping that nice shape. So I actually was not prepared to use these colors. She just had fall, and then when she came in, I just went over to my supply shelf and picked out the best fall colors, the first fall colors that caught my eye, and we just went with it. So as you can see, I went back in and added some more clear over to top the apex. You guys, when you're encapsulating, make sure that you're just paying attention to your foundation and your apex to make sure that you have enough. I know I said that you don't want to have too much, but you do want to make sure that you have enough. So feel free, and not even just with encapsulation, with anything, feel free to constantly be looking at your nails, going back to them and making sure that you don't need to add any acrylic anywhere, because it's definitely easier to add than to get to the end of the set and now you're like, okay, I have to go back in and add some more. So definitely just pay attention to that. So both of the middle nails are just going to be a solid color, and then we're going to add a charm at the end. So this one was the orangey pumpkinish color, and then the other middle finger is going to be a mustardy color. So that was just something that I thought would add like a little spice to it, just a little different middle fingernail. So this is just basic application. You're going to start with about 3 to 4 beads just to give you the nice base. And then I do believe that I am going to encapsulate this nail as well. Now I will say that with solid colored nails, you do not have to encapsulate it at all. That's totally optional. I do it depending on the color and depending on the way the acrylic was or is behaving. So this acrylic powder, I feel like was a little, I don't want to say thin, but it definitely was as if, like when I would go to use my e-file, it might kind of strip it in some areas. So I just wanted to encapsulate it just to be, safe rather than sorry. So as you can see, I worked with about, I think it was 5 beads. I think I picked up an extra cuticle bead. I always say 3 to 4 beads just in case, just as a foundation, and then you can always go back in and see what you need to add or if you need to even add anything. Because I feel like it's better to add than to have to try to worry about taking it off in the end. So, yeah, I just patting that down, feathering it down, making it nice and smooth, cleaning up my cuticle area. That's another thing. You do want to try to make sure that if you are encapsulating it, well, encapsulating a nail, encapsulating it. If you are encapsulating a nail, you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because if it's like all wonky and just jacked up underneath, you when you encapsulate it, you might have trouble. Like, for example, if there was lumps and bumps on this middle nail, and I'm trying to encapsulate it, I would be trying to fill in all the lumps. Like, the acrylic would just naturally fall in the lumps and bumps, so it's going to look the same way unless I build it up even more with clear to make it nice and even. So before encapsulating anything, you just want to make sure that it's as smooth as you can get it. That way when you do the encap, it'll be nice and even for you. So that's just something to remember. So the pointer fingers are going to be ombre. I'm just doing like a nude to brown ombre, something different. I don't think I've ever done an ombre with these two colors, but I thought that it would be super cute, and it did turn out cute. So I'm just treating this the same way I would any other ombre. I like to do the base color first and then kind of come back to it later on and let it dry. Um, I don't know, that's optional. A lot of people just do the whole entire ombre like up front. I just noticed that when I do the base color, let it dry for just a few seconds. Normally I do another nail and then I come back to it, but like letting the base color dry, I feel like when I go to blend the second color, it blends way better. Now I could be tripping, but that's just how I feel, and it does it every single ombre nail. Like every single ombre nail that I do, when I do this method and come back to it, it blends beautifully. For example, this thumbnail is actually going to be a marbled ombre nail. So it same exact technique with the marble. I'm just mixing some colors here and there. I did kind of have to go back in and add some white, I believe, because I kind of mixed those colors too much. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a nice ombre on this nail too. And as you'll see, like when I come back to it, when I do the ombre, it just blends so effortlessly. Like it just works for me. So you don't have to do it that way. More of the story. You can just go ahead and ombre it up front right then and there. But that's just something that I noticed and I like to recommend. Because I used to really struggle with ombre. Like, even once I got good at nails, I still used to struggle. Like, my ombre was just never consistent, I guess I should say. It was like some sets would turn out good, some sets, it just wouldn't be blended. So I just started doing this, and yeah, every set is a hit now. As you can see, it's just blending so nicely. So I just like to put that out there in case anyone maybe was in the same situation, or they feel like they're trying all these techniques and ombre is just not working. Try mine and see if you like it. But yeah, I'm just going back in and with the same Young Nails acrylic, the Cover Rosebud, and I'm just finishing out that ombre. I am going to encapsulate this. I don't always encapsulate ombre. I do more than I don't. It really just depends on the colors I'm using. But since these are both really, I guess, lighter colors. I know the brown is like dark, but as far as like, as you seen when I was applying the brown acrylic, it kind of like was a little lighter. So I do like to encapsulate the light acrylics just so when I do use my e-file, it doesn't take anything off. I feel like if I would have left it bare how it is, it would have kind of took off some layers, and I did not want that. So I am going to encapsulate this. I'm going to do the thumbnail the same exact way and ombre the thumbnail, and then I'm going to encapsulate it. So I will just let you guys watch that, and then I will pick back up with the voiceover once we get to the filing. So you guys, this is the finished application. So nice and neat, period. Yes, work smarter, not harder. Keeping it clean pays off. So yeah, anyways, I'm just going back in now and cleaning up the shape. Nothing major here. You're going to do the same steps that you did in the beginning, but I do like to always add that now that the acrylic is on, a step that I like to add when filing is you want to make sure that you're getting the undersides of the nails. I don't do that in the beginning only because the nail is like fresh and there's nothing really on there to clean up, I guess I should say. But once you add the acrylic, it does kind of add depth. It kind of adds like layers. So you do want to make sure that you're just getting underneath of there to make sure that you have a nice, clean, straight nail. You know, after acrylic application, there could be some acrylic that got underneath there. The nail could just be a little ragged, a little rigid. You just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and, you know, straight down there. Because you will notice a difference. Like the nails might look super nice from one angle, but as soon as your client flips her nails to the side or flips her nails over, you will definitely see everything that's under there if you do not clean it up. And you know, we like to do quality nails over here, ladies. So every little thing adds to the set of the nails. You know, you ever see some nails and they're like just perfect, literally like to that, like everything is perfect. Well, that nail tech filed underneath of their nails. So yeah, that's why they, you know, that added to the perfection of that set. So I just like to make sure that I remind ladies to do that because it does make a difference in the quality and the look, overall look of the set for sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing the set, you guys. I am so excited to do like fall, Halloween, Christmas. Like the end of the year are literally, it's my prime in nails. Like it's my time to shine. I literally turn up the whole end of the year. I love Halloween nails, I love fall nails, I love Christmas nails. Like I literally flourish in this time. So I'm so excited. And she actually did these and it was to kick off the first day of fall. So I meant to post this video yesterday, but I just had nail clients all day long. And then when I came home, I was just beat. You guys know I'm a mom outside of this YouTube stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to hang out with my baby and kind of, you know, just relax. I got home kind of late, so I said that I would get up first thing in the morning and do this voiceover for you guys, which I did. So I guess it can still be the kickoff of fall. You know, they were still for the first, we did them on the first day of fall, so I guess that's how that it matters. But okay, I have the filing done nice and neat. So now I'm going in with that sanding band. I'm going to be sealing the cuticles. So you guys, you will see in my future videos, I have used the sanding band for this step for quite some time. I actually found a new drill bit that I'm going to be using. So I will explain that and I will start using that in my next video. But for now, I'm going to still be using what I have. So I like to seal the cuticles going from one side to the other, making sure that you're just making it nice and smooth and even. Sealing the cuticles helps with preventing lifting and helps retention. And then of course I'm getting the underside of the curve of the nail, making sure that all of the acrylic is nice and cleaned out from under there and overall smoothing out the entire nail. So I like to say, make sure that you're going from top to bottom, left to right, covering the entire nail, making sure that the entire nail is nice and smooth and overall even. You don't want to leave any lumps or bumps. You don't want to leave any but like just making sure that it's nice and just smooth like butter, okay? Because when you go to do that design or apply them charms, any imperfections will come back to bite you in the butt. So might as well just take your time now and clean up those nails, make sure they're nice and smooth. And the cuticle work is very important as well. This is why I actually switched my drill bit. I feel like the new one that I have definitely like seals it better and just gives it an overall better look. So I cannot wait to show you guys that. This one definitely does the job, but the new one is the truth. So now I'm just going in with my buffer, and you just want to make sure that you're getting the entire nail, buffing it pretty good, because you want to make sure that you're getting any scratches or marks, anything off from that e-file. This is a super easy step. As you can see, it took me about 60 seconds, if that. And then I don't film this next part, but I just like to put cuticle oil on and have the clients go and wash their hands with soap and water. Yeah, look at that. Period. I just love it. Like, they're so nice. So I have this new method that I have been using. Usually I would apply my gems and then put on my top coat, but I have been liking this method. I just started it with like a few clients ago. So I like to apply the top coat first and then go back in and apply my gems. If I'm doing like a full finger, I probably will not do this, but if I am doing, for instance, like the jewels I have, like I'm doing today, I will definitely do it. And I just feel like I like it because the nail is already shiny, like it's already glossed, so that when I add the rhinestone glue, I feel like it's not as obvious. Like, for example, what I mean by that is, like, when I would do the rhinestone glue first and then go back over top with the top coat, it was very obvious where the rhinestone glue was. So yeah, I don't know, give it a try. I mean, maybe it's just my personal preference. Like, it's not like you have to do it that way, but it just works for me. I think it overall gives it a better look. I used to hate when my clients, I would finish up their nails and then go to take pictures, and I would be able to point out, like, oh, that's where the rhinestone glue is at. It's pretty obvious. So yeah. But anyways, I am applying just a few gems on the ring or middle finger. We're doing a really cute bear that's holding a diamond heart, and it's gold, so it matches perfectly. And then on the ring finger and the pointer finger, I didn't, for some reason, the video cut off before I finished the pointer finger. I'm just going to be doing 3 stones around the cuticle area, just something calm and nice, but adds a little bling, adds a little, fanciness, I guess. And then you guys, with the bigger gems, don't be scared if they're slipping. You just have to keep rearranging them. But yes, this is the finished result, you guys. Look at the nails. Look at the nails. I'm so in love with these. I hope you guys like them too. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I have so many more coming for you guys. I am definitely on a roll. So hit that post notification, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.